Being such a good student in this century, I would like to give my high gratitude and respect to elegant Mank, the SNC teacher, classmates who are in virtual learning, and Barista Quentin. Good evening. Today is a pleasure for us to be here and present you a topic. Ladies and gentlemen, did you know the definition of time? Time is such a precious thing that you can have it, but you can't own it. You can spend it, but you can't keep it. And if you lost it, you will never get it back. Exactly. Time is really important for every person, but not all the people will use time or use it in the right way. Similarly, some people always say, why does time go so fast while they are spending their time uselessly? It's impossible to manage the time if you let laziness to control yourself. Time is slow when you wait for it, but it's fast when you are late. It's short when you're happy, but it's long when you feel bored. Of course, it's definitely determined by your feeling and psychological conditions, not by clocks, so that you must learn to control it. That's why today we are here in order to present you a topic under the title is How to Manage the Time. By the way, there are until 8 points that we want to tell you today. So without further ado, let's get started with our first point all together.
Ladies and gentlemen, so now let's get started with our first point. It's about make to-do list. Obviously, everyone wants to know what is list and how to make it, or why it can help us to manage our time. Well, for the one that always forget the important thing easily, it is the best way for them. And almost half the people, they cannot control their time because they didn't prepare schedule or list in their daily life. So that's why they don't know what they're gonna do. When they don't know what to do, they will think that they are free. So it is a symptom of laziness. If you try, you will know how much it's important for you to control your time. Make to-do list, you must write down the activity or make it in order. Then you must complete and practice every day. Make to-do list. Making list is not easy, but it will be more easier when you know how much important it is. That is for our first point, Sang.
And my second point is talk about set a time limit task. Setting time limit tasks can help us be more focused and effective. Making a small extra effort to decide on how much time we need a lot for a task can also help you recognize potential problems before they arise. That way, you can make a plan for dealing with them. For example, assume you need to write up 5 reviews in time for the meeting. However, you will be able to get 4 of them done in the time remaining before the meeting. And if you know this fact while in advance, you may be able to get easily delegate writing up one of review to someone else. However, if you haven't bothered to do a time check on your task beforehand, you might have ended up resolving the time problem just an hour before the meeting. At that point, it might be more difficult to find someone to delegate one of review to, and it's more difficult to fit their task into their day too. And this is the end of my point. Let's get started with the next point altogether. Thank you.
Now, let's move your feeling to our third point altogether, in which about write important times and that in the calendar. Absolutely, almost all the people, they never think that their time is very important, and they also never give value to their time. So here, we want all of you to think that your time is very important, and we are all here to tell you the way how to become the one who has a good habit by write down important times and that in the calendar. Sure, in this, I will show you how to do this and what do we need. We need a pen and a calendar. On the other hand, we have to write a thing for day in the calendar. Because in the calendar, it has a big space for us to write what we're gonna do. But for some cases, like for some students, they should write down about their plan for their studies and also the worker too. They should have a plan for their daily life, like during COVID-19 pandemic. They must think that what should they do to improve themselves properly, so that We can say both students and workers, if they want to manage their time, the best way is write down important times that or tasks that they're gonna do in the calendar. Of course, when you do like this, you don't have to be worried that you will forget your task. And no matter how hard you try to write it, if you don't practice it, it will be useless. Like one quote said that productivity is not an accident. It is always the result of commitment to excellent, intelligent planning and focused effort. And this is the end of our third point. Now, please move your feeling to our next point altogether.
Well, my first point is about set alarm on your phone. In this modern technology, other people don't have to worry about the way how to manage their time anymore. Because this is 21st century, the students know the technique how to spend the time in the right way by setting alarm on their phone. Because this is the only choice in which can manage their time properly. As you can see in this reality, no one is free because they have lots of things to complete every single day. The question is that, can they complete their task on time? Exactly no, because from one task to another task, they don't set up a specific time on their phone, so that they don't know what time should they do this task, what time should they do that task. And it is the problem that every person meets. For instance, if you sit up 2 hours to do my homework, then you have to stay focused on that task only. Although you haven't finished it yet, but you need to stop and continue to do other tasks. I say like this, it doesn't mean I write all the time. But if you practice or do what I explain to you, you will get a benefit from it. This is the end of my point. Thanks.
So ladies and gentlemen, let's move your feelings to my fifth points that talk about do important tasks before less important tasks. We have known already that almost half the people in this beautiful world needs to do their tasks by themselves. But they do some tasks that is not important first. So today, my points talking about doing important tasks before less important tasks. Yes, what is cannot miss it. As we are the people live in this world, no one can avoid from doing the task. But for some, they just do a little. More than this, for some people, they see all of their tasks so important in their life. Sometimes they like to keep it even if important or not important. They like to keep it until the task becomes the mountain. Even if they have time, they also don't do it too. So that point, we want to say that we shouldn't wait for doing our task. If we can do all the tasks, it also can save our times too. We must be clear for all of the tasks that we have example. First, important and urgent. Do this task in a right way. Second, important but not urgent. Decide when to do this task. Third, urgent, important but not urgent. Urgent but not important. Delegate this task if possible. Fourth, not urgent and not important. Set this aside to do later. So last, you should do the task that important first because it always gives you us the benefit all of the time. Like one quote says that task is a good helper, but don't be late to do the task. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, now let's move your feeling to our sixth point that talk about don't leave things until the last minute. In generally, one person to one person always has their own task to do. To make them easy to complete the task, they should make a list and manage the time properly. For this, most top people might know, but they don't know how to complete the task to get a good result. Because of this, can make some people, when they have one task to do, then they don't start to do it. When the time is rushed and have a lot of things to do, then they start to do it. Like this, can make them can get a good result or not? Yes, actually no, because they do many tasks when the time is rushed. Like this cannot make them do it well. Sometimes can make them jump words or compute some point. So that's why can make the task successful too. For example, I need to review the lesson because it's nearly examination. But at that time, I feel lazy and don't want to do it. Instead, I delay it until tomorrow. When tomorrow comes, I delay it. Nation nearly come, I start to review many lessons in one time. So can make me jumble and cannot complete exam well too. Like one quote said that the more you rest, the less result you admit. And this is the end of our 6th point. Now let's move your feeling to our next point altogether.
So now don't waste the time. Please move your feeling to our 7 points that talking about leave home early so that you don't arrive late. Well, many people always have a different activities. Some people, they like to respect their time and always be ready before the time. But talking about some people that they like to think that it's okay if you leave home late and arrive late. If it near, it's no matter, but if it's far, it will so that you are a person that don't respect the time and also don't have a responsibility too. For example, for the student, if the school start class at 1 o'clock, they should leave home before the time for 15 minutes if it near. But if it's far, they should leave home before the time for 30 minutes. And for the worker, they also should do like this too. One more thing for this is not just focus only the student or worker, but it focuses to all the people that they must be ready in every second of their life. And this is the end of my point. Now, please move your feeling to our next point.
Ladies and gentlemen, so now let's move your feeling to my last point altogether, which is about keep the things where you can find easily. Apparently, most of the people are ready to understand how to manage their time effectively. Well, keep the things where you can find easily is very important because it's very convenient to find it and don't waste a lot of time for it. Especially, it also can reflect our habit and behavior and can show what kinds of a person you are too. Example, we are the learner. We need to think of every part, even the place that we should put our materials on. That's why, in the name of the student, you must prepare your book or material in order, such as on the desk, table, shelf, and cupboard, put in space to space. So when you want to find this thing, you will know where you put it on, and you can find it easily. We'll never waste the time for it. However, based on example, you might understand keep the things where you can find easily. Because you always follow all the rules, it seems like you are the student that be ready on your study. Especially, never waste a lot of time on your lesson too. And this is the end of my point. So now let's move your feeling to my group member altogether. Please give a big warm welcome.
To sum up, we ensure that this topic can teach us both the way how to manage the time and maintain the time, just like my group member Sendai have mentioned at the moment already. Because every point contains a lot of strategy in which can make the student and citizen avoid spending the time uselessly. Meanwhile, in this century, if you are weak in managing the time, the people will walk over you, so many problems will eventually happen to you. Although you used to have a lot of experiences in society, but you are the one who always careless about the time. No one wants to recruit you after stuff because they can judge you by your time management. Last but not least, we would like to suggest to all of you here that if you want to succeed in your life, please stop spending the time in the wrong way anymore. Because the good student and citizen never waste their time even 1 minute. Like one quote said that, be master of the time, don't let the time master you. This is the end of our presentation. Thanks for attention.